Saubhadra, it looks like the exit polls have got it right this time in West Bengal and Assam.
Absolutely.
What do you think? Let's start with Assam first. What do you think has worked for the BJP?
I think Assam is a great success story for the BJP. Especially last year, we have seen that how it had faltered in Bihar and Delhi elections. I think the choice of Sarbanand Sonowal, a community leader who had been a key force behind repealing of the IMDT Act, who is seen as a force to stop or at least curb the illegal infiltration. So choice of Sarbanand Sonowal as the leader, and also working on the 15-year-old incumbency of the Congress government. Perhaps these are the main two factors which has worked well.
I think you are making a very valid point. In Sonowal, they found a man who not only was in the right position to raise the issue of illegal immigration, but also he comes from a tribal background. And he brings together, on the one hand, the issue of illegal infiltration, and on the other, the issue of Assamese nationalism.
Absolutely.
Together, it turned out to be a very effective combination in one person.
Absolutely.
I think that's a very valid point to make.
One interesting thing I think that the results so far. It's shocking to see that how the Congress vote and also the AIUDF vote both have depleted. Do you think that this Congress vote and the AIUDF vote, which AIUDF largely banks on the Muslim population, does it show a shift of the Muslim vote towards the BJP?
I don't think so. We have to see the details of it, but from what we see now, one deduction that can be made is that the BJP may have benefited from a split in the Muslim vote between AIUDF and Congress. That could be one way of looking at it. But like I said, we still have to look at the results.
When we talk about the Muslim votes, the neighboring state of West Bengal, that's enjoys a 34% Muslim population.
Sorry to interrupt you here, but it is also interesting to see that AIUDF leader Ajmal is trailing.
He was trailing till at least a few minutes ago.
Yes, which is a bit of a shock. You would imagine him to at least win.
Exactly.
So it seems like a combination of factors could be working.
Absolutely.
And
also, Assam is a very complex society where even in the Muslim vote bank there is a clear divide: the indigenous Assamese Muslims and the Bengali-speaking, the migrant Muslims. So there also is a lot of divide. But when we are talking about the Muslim vote, look at Bengal. 34% Muslim vote, clearly rallying behind Mamata.
I would imagine so. Yes, it was a divisive campaign, and I think the minority voters have been very clear in their mind who they want to go for, and the West Bengal results have been. In fact, she is bettering than the exit poll predictions.
Correct.
So and the Muslim vote the minority vote would have played a very major factor in that.
Yes. In fact, the two women chief ministers, Jayalalitha and Mamata, both seems to be defying the so-called anti-incumbency factor. In the case of Mamata, as far as the trends show now, that she's actually getting more seats than her previous tally in 2011, where she got 182 seats, and now she's over 200.
Yeah, if the trends hold, then she will obviously better her past performance, which then says that it then means that all the pre-poll analysis were blindsided by the fact that she had done a lot of work in rural Bengal. Yes. And I think in India, as we know, elections are still won in the villages and the countryside.
Absolutely.
That she seems to have kept her support intact in that. With those voters, the rural voters, where I believe she has done a lot of work, like building hospitals and schools.
Yes.
So that has paid off. People have been, I'm sure a section of the voters would have been very unhappy with what happened with Sharada, what happened in the Narda,
especially the urban middle class.
But I think that resentment was largely restricted to the urban class. And it did not trickle down to the
jungle mahal areas,
to the countryside, which has preferred to look at what she has done over the past 5 years in terms of concrete work and
Exactly.
projects than the issue of the day, which may have been Narada, which
Correct.
happened a few weeks before the election. So
Absolutely. And I think this cut and paste alliance between the left and the Congress, that actually has not caught the imagination of the Bengal
I
voters.
think the Bengal voters in Bengal would have seen this as a matter of convenience rather than of any opportunistic, rather than of two principled parties coming together. So I think that would have. That is not something which seems to have gone down well with the voters.
Exactly. But the one very interesting, till a few minutes ago, the BJP is leading in 10 seats in Bengal Assembly election. I think BJP in the last assembly, BJP had just one seat, that too in a by-poll, it won the seat. So 10 seats of BJP in West Bengal, I think it's a saffron surge.
I wouldn't call it a search, but we have to look where are these seats. These seats are probably along in the border districts where there is already a pushback, a blowback against illegal immigration. So I would try to analyze where they are winning, because if they're winning in Calcutta, that would tell you a different story. But if they're winning a seat in Murshidabad or Malda or in Dinajpur, then that tells you another story.
In fact, when we started this chat, the former BJP state president, Rahul Sinha, he was leading in a seat in central Calcutta, Jorashanko, which is known as the birthplace and the house of Rabindranath Tagore, I mean, in that area. So clearly the BJP, and that also is a non-Bengali or non-Bengali speaking community. They have a large base there. Yeah.
It's dominated by,
Yeah.
I think, non-Bengali communities.
Correct.
So which is why you can understand the propensity to probably vote for BJP. I can understand that. I think it's a largely trading community which
Exactly.
lives in that area. So they have traditionally voted for the BJP, and I think that's what Rahul Sinha would have benefited from.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Say, if you go back to Assam once again, the most populous state in Northeast, and BJP for the first time, they are going to have their state government. This is the first chief minister. And very interesting one thing that, till 15, 20 years ago, the Assam Gana Parishad, that party actually represented the aspirations, they were the representation of Assamese sentiment, and today it has gone down to the junior partner of the BJP. So is it something like people want to vote for a party which is at the center, and also going to, if we have it in the state, it will benefit, at least in Assam?
That would have played upon the minds of many voters. It helps to have the same party in power in both in a state and at the center. It's easier for policies to go through. There is greater understanding and synergy and coordination between the governments, and people would expect more of central help to come through for projects, and more job creation, more economic growth. That is something that plays upon the mind of the voter. But traditionally, we have seen that assembly elections are dominated more by local issues. But I will not discount that possibility. But I would still think that voters in assembly elections vote more on local issues than on national issues.
A BJP, the NDA government actually had invested a lot in Northeast. We have seen rail projects, we have seen a lot of infrastructure development taking place in the Northeast. And
the Donier ministry, I think.
Yeah. Donier ministry, which is headed by VK Singh till a few months ago. So maybe those things are now giving the political dividend. So we'll keep a watch. We will closely monitor what's happening.
I think the choice of Sonowal was a masterstroke on behalf of BJP.
And Narendra Modi made it very clear during his election campaign that he will be sad, once he said that he will be sad that one of his ministers will be going back to the state, leading to a vacancy. So keep on watching. the hindustantimes.com for all the updates for the election, and we'll be having the conversations very soon again on the other states. Thank you.
Thank you.